Hey guys, it's Brooke Ligertwood here, and I am so honoured to be sharing today's devotional with you. We are going to be talking about the Last Supper and reading the account we find in Luke's Gospel from chapter 22, verse 14. Let's read it together. When the hour came, Jesus and his apostles reclined at the table, and he said to them, I have eagerly desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. Verse 16, for I tell you, I will not eat it again until it finds fulfillment in the kingdom of God. Verse 19, and he took bread, gave thanks and broke it and gave it to them, saying, this is my body given for you. Do this in remembrance of me. Verse 20, in the same way, after the supper, he took the cup, saying, this cup is the new covenant in my blood, which is poured out for you. What I love about this is that, of course, we remember the Last Supper every time we take communion. We obey the words of Jesus in this text to gather around the bread and the cup and do it in remembrance of him, remembering the suffering of Jesus in his body, the blood spilled and poured out for us, and the new covenant that represents that we now stand in. What I also love about communion, though, is that we don't just remember Calvary and the cross and all that has been won for us, but it's also a radically prophetic act. Jesus hints at this in verse 16 when he says that he won't eat this meal again until it finds fulfillment in the kingdom of God. And if we read a little further on, the discussion continues, and in verse 29, Jesus says, and I confer on you a kingdom, just as my Father conferred one on me. Verse 30, so that you may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom. So the communion meal is not just a remembrance of Calvary, but it's also a prophetic act, prophesying and proclaiming that the kingdom of God will be among us and will be fulfilled. 1 Corinthians 11, verse 26 says this, for whenever you eat this bread and drink this cup, you proclaim the Lord's death until he comes. And he is coming. So as we take communion and gather around the Last Supper over this Easter, let's remember not just what we stand in, but what we also will sit at one day in the kingdom of God.